welcome back. My name is Blair Hampton, and this is It's a Book, my YouTube channel where I discuss all things reading, writing, love of the craft, and my journey to becoming a self-published author. Hi guys, welcome back. This is It's a Book, my YouTube channel where I talk about reading, writing, and all things love of the craft. This is episode 27. We aren't going to talk about what happened to episode 26. We are just going to leave it in the past, and maybe I'll talk about it another time. Today's episode is dedicated to our new saint, Hattie McDaniel. She was a brilliant performer who paved the way for future stars like Halle Berry, Octavia Spencer, Angela Bassett, Monique, Viola Davis, and any other woman of color who dared make a mark in Hollywood. Mammy is a new saint because she was persecuted on earth, even by her own people. But still, she did the work of the Lord, showing people the light and love of God, even if only by achieving the impossible. She is a beacon of light in Satan's dark abyss. Mammy was the offensive name given to the enslaved black woman who was forced to work for mentally insane, well-to-do, racist white Americans who always went to church on Sunday. Mammy was forced to mother racist white Americans and their children while her own babies were stolen to be sold, raped, and dehumanized by other mentally insane, well-to-do racist white Americans. They went to church too. Despite this hell on earth, Mammy was still able to wake up each day, praise God, and keep going. I imagine Mammy fed those heathens delicious meals with the right amount of seasoning, chicken, candied yams, collard greens, cornbread, sweet potato pie, and a side of homemade vanilla ice cream. Mammy was a saint for not poisoning the food. Of course, stepping out of line in the plantation owner's house was always a matter of life or death, and many Mammies chose life. I'm sure she thought about it, but rarely did Mammy stoop to the level of those who enslaved her. Revolts by Mammies most certainly occurred, but history is written by the victor, and he would never, ever tell the truth to shame himself. Hail Mammy, Mother of God. I'm sure Mammy prayed for the sinners under her watch. The demons who enslaved her weren't worthy of her good works, her cooking, her warmth, her common sense. Mammy just made things plain and was ridiculed for it. Her wisdom was dismissed and undervalued. Some critics of the Mammy archetype say that the portrayal of a black maid was too docile. They say Mammy was too amenable to her enslavers. I like to think that Mammy was in many ways a lot like Jesus, proselytizing to heathens who were so steeped in the sin and immorality of slavery, they didn't realize that they were already in hell. A long time ago, a friend told me that we shouldn't call people foolish so casually. She said that a fool is a person who doesn't know God. We must be careful when we say things. Words have meanings, and they can cast spells that can be damning. If the racist white Americans who enslaved Mammy couldn't recognize divinity under their noses every day, that says more about them than it does about dear Mammy. No one ever says Jesus was too compassionate. Mammy is a good shepherd. She exhibited God's grace and love to people who most certainly did not deserve it. I love Mammy, but it is because throughout many dark times in my life, I had to focus on the light so that I could trudge towards the end of the tunnel. Mammy seemed dumb to racist white Americans, but to me, she embodied the ideals of their precious white Jesus. The black maids in Hollywood movies of yore often sang, whistled, and sassed while they worked. Racist white Americans would have you believe that Mammy was resigned to her lot in life. I like to believe that Mammy sang songs of praise and worship simply to get through her terrible days. She knew the chaos and depravity that persisted around her: beatings, starvation, working from sun up to sundown in fields void of the modern pesticides that keep bees, mosquitoes, and other tormentors at bay. Mammy most likely sang songs to keep from crying, and I know the feeling. I know what it's like to put on a smile even as everything seems to be falling apart. People will look at the life you live and they might feel sorry for you. Look, she's smiling despite the hopelessness of her situation. But there is always hope with God, and I pity the fools. Hattie McDaniel, like my hero Phyllis Wheatley, was the first of her kind in America. In 1940, McDaniel was the first black person to win an Academy Award for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Based on the best-selling novel by Margaret Mitchell, Gone with the Wind captured the luxury and socially accepted depravity of a wealthy white family during the American Civil War and Reconstruction. As with everything, Gone with the Wind is whitewashed. To me, it is a symbol of the lack of awareness racist white Americans and their apologists share. When exactly was America great? At her best, this country is the child of former enslaved black Americans, McDaniel was an acclaimed songwriter and performer within the black community. She was compelled to take her talents further. McDaniel sought more out of life than what was available to a black actress during that time. After a series of successful roles as a maid in other Hollywood productions, Mammy achieved the pinnacle of fame after she played Mammy, the soft-hearted, no-nonsense maid to a plantation owner in Georgia, in a film that went on to become one of the highest-grossing motion pictures of all time. Praise followed this cinematic feat. McDaniel showed depth and commanded every scene she was in. Despite her charisma, racist white Americans would not allow McDaniel to attend the world premiere. It was held in a segregated theater and she was unwelcome. During the Oscars, the night when racist white Americans in Hollywood formally acknowledged that a black woman is just as good, just as capable, if not infinitely more talented than the cookie-cutter white starlets who were fashionable at that time, McDaniel had to sit in a far-off corner away from the cast that should have been bonded through this once-in-a-lifetime experience. McDaniel, or Mammy, walked that walk from the back of that racist, segregated room to collect her Academy Award on stage. McDaniel walked that walk from the back of that room with her head held high, overcome with the gravity of this momentous occasion. McDaniel walked so that other creatives, like me, could run. Hail, Mammy, full of grace. The Lord is truly with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Like Phyllis Wheatley, McDaniel had a vision that no one else could see. Divinely inspired, Wheatley, McDaniel, and my other cherished ancestors never ceased building that ark. The heathens laughed and doubted that realization of the dream. They thought it was impossible. Psalm chapter 90, verse 17 reads, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest upon us. Establish the work of our hands for us." Yes, establish the work of our hands. Mammy put in that work, y'all. Hattie McDaniel, she got busy. They were, therefore I can be. Thank you for attending service with me. It is always such a pleasure to fellowship with you. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and just let me know what you think in the comments. The message will be delivered. May those with ears hear with their hearts and their souls. May peace be with you.